You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a historic Pittsburgh building getting new life thanks to some gorillas.
Also, the mayor of Carl Junction hosted Tuesday night's council meeting despite the council's vote to suspend him.
And we've got clear skies, few clouds out there, and some patchy, dense fog we've got to talk about. A look at your forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It's just after 7 a.m. now on this Thursday, June the 19th, and we are trucking into the first day of summer tomorrow. It's going to feel a little bit like it today. We're going to feel a lot like it tomorrow. And so really that made yesterday a pretty decent day to get outside.
It certainly did. Community members of all ages gathered in Carthage, Missouri yesterday to celebrate Precious Moments Chapel Day.
KOAM's Olivia Moss dives into what made the celebration so special.
You want to know what it means or what it's about, you just let me know and I'll tell you, okay?
For the Precious Moments Chapel in Carthage, Missouri, June 18th is not just another day.
Thank you guys for coming.
It's a day to celebrate the anniversary of the chapel's opening and dedication in 1989.
It's a very exciting day to be able to just continue that and enjoy everyone coming out and still knowing after 36 years that we're here and people are able to enjoy us.
The celebration was full of activities, including face painting, a passport adventure scavenger hunt, and something new.
In between the tours that we normally do to explain about the chapel, we're going to do a story time where we're going to read some Precious Moments storybooks that were written by Mr. Butcher to the children that come to visit, because we always like to do special things for them.
Precious Moments Chapel Day was officially recognized by the governor of Missouri in 2009. For 36 years, they have been welcoming people of all ages to enjoy everything, from the chapel to the figures.
It's really great that it's still here in the community, that they're having more and more events every year. It's nice to see it pick up again and have the people come out, and it's pretty cool to live by something so special.
Precious moments really means those special times of your life that you just want to hold on to and capture. And that's what Mr. Butcher wanted. He wanted to capture those moments of love and caring and sharing in our lives that we never want to forget, but we will always want to hold on to.
Those moments captured today. Reporting in Carthage, I'm Olivia Moss, KOAM News.
Well, thank you guys.
Well, Precious Moments holds several events throughout the year, including their family reunion event starting October 8th.
If you haven't been up there, by the way, you need to check it out. And of course, for a complete schedule of events, you can visit our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. It is a very, very cool place to go visit frequently, if you can.
Absolutely.
Nice to be outdoors
There you go.
as well. Well, here's what we've got for you in terms of weather. It's going to be hot. That really is going to sum it up. Honestly, we could probably get by with 5 seconds of weather telling you it's just going to be hot, because that's what's going to happen. We're got the first day of summer tomorrow, so it's only appropriate that things start to get a little uncomfortable. Today, though, not bad. Our camera downtown Pittsburgh looks fantastic. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline also looking fantastic. We've got clear skies, and through the day, a cloud or two will be possible. Our big concern this morning is this business. We've got dense fog stretching from northwest to southeast. So Benton County, parts of Berry, McDonald, Delaware, Ottawa, Craig, Newata, and then the southern portions of Labette, Cherokee, and southeastern Montgomery County, reduced visibility. Zero visibility, Bentonville, Grove, Miami, you're practically at zero. Anderson down to a mile. So Veneta just under 2 miles. So you're heading south on I-49, heading into Oklahoma on the Will Rogers Turnpike. Be prepared for the dense fog. Slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Be careful. And remember, it's better to be a few minutes late to where you're going than not arrive at all. Future track, there is nothing to show you, and that is the honest truth. We could have a cloud or two today. We've got a light and variable breeze. Temperatures heating up. That's all that's truly happening out there for us. Already a fairly mild start, though. 67 Joplin, 66 in Pittsburgh. Temperatures around the region a little cooler up north, but starting to warm up now. Mid-60s. Most of us mid-upper 60s. We've got Veneta now as the warm spot, sitting at 70. We're going to be into the mid-70s about 9 a.m. Low 80s by noon. Upper 80s into the afternoon for our highs. Maybe even a couple of low 90s. And skies clearing into the evening. Now tomorrow, the humidity returns. The heat index values start increasing, because it's the first day of summer. We're going to go over those details, talk about the weekend here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. One juvenile is dead and authorities are still searching for another after a train pedestrian accident yesterday afternoon in Neosho County, Kansas. It happened at the Trestle Railroad Bridge over the Neosho River south of Erie, Kansas. Sheriff Greg Taylor says 2 juveniles were walking along the bridge when they were hit by a train. Authorities have recovered 1 body, and at last report, they were still searching for the second juvenile. State officials have been helping with a ground and air search, and the sheriff says the Neosho River is high, making conditions harder to deal with. He asked the public to steer clear of the area. The sheriff says the families have been notified and law officers' hearts go out to them. Well, in a turn of events, Carl Junction Mayor Mike Moss was back in the chair at Tuesday night's City Council meeting just days after the council voted to suspend him. The discussion to suspend Mayor Moss started during the May 20th City Council meeting. Council members James Shanks had filed a complaint alleging Mayor Moss made inappropriate comments about female city employees. The council unanimously agreed to hire Lauber Municipal Law to investigate the complaint. Now, during the June 3rd meeting, council members voted 6-2 to suspend the mayor. However, 2 days later, Moss was back at work in the mayor's office. City Administrator Steve Lauber confirmed the motion to suspend Moss was unlawful under city code. Both the city attorney and outside legal counsel supported Lauber's decision. And now you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. The player is also available on our news and weather apps as well as our website. Watch live streaming anytime, absolutely free. The KOAM Plus TV streaming app. Well, if you visit downtown Pittsburgh, you'll see construction underway at the site of the historic Best Hotel. Now, in recent years, the building has become run down, but construction crews, including interns from Pittsburgh State University, are working to give the landmark new life. KOAM's Samantha Walker gives us a look inside the Best Hotel and shares details on its future.
The Best Hotel is a historic Pittsburgh landmark, but if you were to walk through it right now, you need to be wearing one of these.
Right now we're standing in the southeast corner of the Best Hotel, building that's almost 100 years old. From what we've seen, this building wasn't probably 10 to 15 years from having some major structural issues before we started rehabbing it.
For the past 2 months, crews with Crossland Construction have been working at repairing the Best Hotel. It's part of the Gorilla Rising project by Pittsburgh State University. Floors 2 through 13 at the Best will be turned into student housing, with 57 apartments and 62 beds. The lower level will offer a commercial space as well as the PSU Center for Reading and the Kansas Small Business Development Center.
We're framing walls for the apartments on 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Just a little bit happening on 6th. We're roughing in electric, plumbing, getting all the utilities into the spaces.
And working alongside the Crossland crew are PSU construction interns. As a former PSU Crossland intern himself, Dylan Halterman knows the importance of getting hands-on experience.
This job, you're getting exposed to a little bit of everything, and I think that's beneficial not only to me in growing in my career, but interns as well as they grow and become field engineers and project engineers.
And as Halterman helps guide new interns, he takes pride that at the same time, he gets to work on such a historic building.
When we just started this job, I got to be on it, and it's been a real honor to be on this and do something for Pittsburgh that they've done for me for 4 years. It's nice to just give a little something back.
And for PSU interns working on the project, it's a full circle moment, knowing their work will help students just like them.
I've told all my friends, there's like, hey, we're turning into student housing. And they're like, well, what's it called? I'll just say Gorilla Rising. And they'll be like, oh, I'll have to move in there one day. So I'd talk it up a lot to all my friends.
And it'll be a lasting reminder of their hard work.
This is the first building you see whenever you walk or whenever you drive into Pittsburgh. And it's going to be really cool being able to drive through it in the future and being able to point at the biggest building in Pittsburgh saying, hey, I helped remodel that to my kids.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Construction at the Best Hotel is expected to be completed by August 2026. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, the city of Pittsburgh will be celebrating tomorrow. We'll hear from one organizer about what's in store for this year's big celebration. And later in Alabama, mother and daughter make history by taking to the skies. We'll take a look. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Well, Pittsburgh residents will have an opportunity to come together and celebrate the city itself. We have Sarah Runyon with the city of Pittsburgh with us this morning to share how the celebration looks to bring the community together. Good morning, Sarah. Happy to have you with us this morning. 620 Day is here tomorrow. Tell me about it.
So 620 Day started about 6 years ago in 2019, and the idea came from celebrating our area code and really fostering community pride. So that's really what it's all about. It's about celebrating Pittsburgh and doing some fun things throughout the day. So it starts off with sidewalk sales. We have a downtown block party and then a free concert for the community.
Absolutely. Talk to me a little bit about just seeing it grow over the years, as you mentioned. Just talking to me about what it feels like to have the community come together and support the city.
One of my favorite things is hearing how our retailers and businesses at the end of the day just have a great day, get to see their customers. It increases foot traffic for them. But then also to see how the community has responded to our downtown block party has been really rewarding. And this year we have over 70 vendors.
Wow.
We have tons of great entertainment and opportunities for families, and it's going to be a great time.
Absolutely. Talk to me a little bit more about the block party and those entertainers. What can people expect to see when they come out?
So the downtown block party at 2nd and Broadway, it starts at 5 o'clock and goes until 8 p.m. We have food trucks, a petting zoo, inflatables, kid-friendly activities and crafts and fun things for families so that they can save some of their money to spend at our local businesses that day. So the hope is that they come out, have a great evening with the community, and they're able to bring their kids and do something inexpensive and also support local businesses.
Absolutely. Supporting local business is so important. Now, if people want to find out more information about 620 Day and all the festivities happening tomorrow, where can they do so?
So pitks.org is the city's website. If you go to the 620 Day page, you'll find all of the businesses that are doing specials that day. We have over 24 different locations that are offering something special for the day. You can also go to the Downtown Pittsburgh, Kansas Facebook and Instagram page.
Wonderful. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for your time today. Happy to have you. Stick around.
Thanks.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 7:17 coming up on 7:18 on this Thursday morning. Starting with the fog tracker here, we still have significantly reduced visibility, especially in the northeastern Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas. So again, if you're traveling this morning, I-44, I-49, 60, 69, heading anywhere just to the west, especially the southern part of Kansas. You can see the fog gets into parts of Labette, Montgomery, and Cherokee counties, stretches into McDonald County, southwestern Berry County, Benton, Delaware, Ottawa, Craig, and Newata counties. So just make sure you're being cautious out there. And we do have some reduced visibilities up around the Stockton Lake area, stretching over to Nevada. So low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. Guys at home, you know the drill here on this. In terms of our forecast for today, once the fog burns off, could have a few clouds here or there. Otherwise, temperatures heating up. Low 80s by noon already. Upper 80s as we head into the afternoon. It's where our highs are headed. A couple of 90-degree readings, again, not out of the question, but tomorrow is where the heat really cranks up. We're back into the upper 60s, low 70s tonight. Clear skies will continue, and we'll have clear skies on our Friday. Now, what changes Friday is the south winds increase, start gusting upwards of 25. So they start bringing in all that heat, all that humidity. So by noon tomorrow, we're already into the upper 80s. What our highs are expected to be is where we're going to be by noon tomorrow. Then we cruise into the low 90s. And low 90s, okay, that's hot, obviously, but the issue we have is the humidity in dew points increasing, it's getting muggy. Heat index values starting tomorrow could easily be 100 to 105, and that will continue into the weekend. Now, Saturday looks to be the kind of the muggiest day of all between here and Sunday as we go into the upper 80s, low 90s once again, but we're looking at a few more of us reaching heat index values around 105, maybe a hair higher, and that will continue into Sunday, where we still go back to heat index values 100 to 105 out there, and temperatures, a little cooler by noon on Sunday, but we heat right back up in the upper 80s and low 90s. So here's what we've got for that heat risk, something we haven't brought out in a while. We have a minor risk for just about all of us today. The humidity level is not going to be too bad, but we go into Friday. First day of summer, now we're up into that moderate range, and by Saturday, most of the region into major on the heat risk. That's why I know a lot of us, you haven't been able to mow the yard for who knows how long. You're probably going to get out, got some things you need to take care of now that we're going to dry out for the weekend, but you need to stay hydrated, and you need to make sure you're taking appropriate precautions into the weekend because dangerous heat is going to be a concern, putting most of us, right about here. So heat-related illnesses become possible, but Saturday, heat exhaustion becomes a bigger problem with those heat index values rising on Saturday. All right, again, a few clouds out there. Otherwise, sunny. It's about 70 to start, 81 by 11 o'clock this morning. As mentioned, our highs today going into the upper 80s with a light and variable breeze. Clear skies into the evening and overnight, mild upper 60s and low 70s rather. South breeze at 5 to 10. South winds start gusting tomorrow. Temperatures rising, low 90s through the weekend. And of course, it's that time of year. We get that heat, we get the humidity, and by late afternoon, early evening, could get a pop-up storm or two next week. And we're not looking at anything widespread severe, but you folks at home know that occasionally one of those little isolated storms can get a little bit strong for a few minutes, so just make sure you're keeping an eye to the sky. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Well, an Alabama mother and daughter are making history flying in the 2025 Air Race Classic.
Now, the aviation competition draws female pilots from across the nation, continuing the legacy that began in 1929 with the Women's Air Derby. Ashla Mitchell takes us to the skies.
And they're off. 40 teams and over 90 women pilots from around the nation are soaring across 2,400 miles of landscape, full of strategy, skill, and sisterhood.
I love being able to, contribute to something bigger than myself and pave the way for other women and girls.
It's the 48th annual Air Race Classic, the USA's only women aviation contest.
Amelia Earhart was originally one of the founders 48 years ago. And each year they have a different race route.
Racers were set to take off from Fairhope, but a weather delay moved the start to Harrison, Arkansas. Each team has at least 2 women. Many of the pilots are students, teachers, doctors, and business owners. Some even family members, like Fairhope's own Misty Dias and her daughter Ivy Steiner.
We definitely act as mother and daughter in the plane, but overall we're 2 pilots flying together.
Their team name?
Poison Ivy. My name's Ivy. And I took it upon myself to name the team.
The race isn't just about speed, it's about teamwork. A handicap speed system is in place, ensuring every team has an equal shot at winning regardless of the aircraft's momentum. Their biggest competition is themselves.
We could still win the race because we're timed by our handicap.
It's been months of practice and preparation for Poison Ivy. It's a true test of skill as they battle the elements.
This will be challenging, and we're looking forward to that.
You guys mentioned before just breaking barriers and showing other women that they can do hard things. What message would you have for mothers, daughters, older women, younger women?
You're never too young or too old to start. You only have to be 17 to get your pilot's license and 16 to have your first solo flight.
Well, the race will end in Spokane, Washington on June 20th.
That is a lot of flying to get done in a short time. But it
Very
does look
cool.
like like a fun competition, especially mothers, daughters getting together for those kinds of things. Talk about an exciting trip.
I know.
A great bonding experience.
Absolutely. Well, coming up, Lamar residents gather together to dedicate a basketball court to a longtime supporter.
And we still have some patchy, dense fog out there. Otherwise, our day looks great. We'll have another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:29. I'm Elise Snowy. The Southwest Missouri Law Enforcement Agency will soon join a television documentary series. The McDonald County Sheriff's Office will appear on the series On Patrol Live on the Reels channel. The department will make its first appearance on the show this Friday night. That's tomorrow, live from 9 p.m. to midnight. Then again on Saturday night at the same time. The show provides minute-by-minute live analysis as the show documents the everyday work of law enforcement officers on patrol from diverse departments across America. In reference to joining the show, Sheriff Robert Evanson said in part, McDonald County is a great community that backs their law enforcement. Showing what our officers go through will also illustrate to the public how much officers truly care about them and the county, including visitors who know they can come here and have a safe and fun time. The McDonald County Sheriff's Office handles approximately 15,000 calls a year. Well, the basketball courts at Lamar City Park now bear the name of a man who quietly helped bring them to life. Community members gathered for a dedication ceremony to honor Kenny Howard, a local businessman who in the 1970s silently donated the funds to build the courts. In addition to his contribution, Howard was known for his strong support of Lamar High School basketball.
I used to take the kids to Kansas City to the NAIA tournament in my motorhome, and that was a big deal every year, and so that was fun.
Now, the event celebrates Howard's lasting impact on local sports and the youth who benefited from his generosity. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. A convicted killer and rapist who escaped from a medium security prison in Arkansas is back in custody and appeared before a judge on Tuesday. Grant Harden pleaded not guilty to breaking out of a detention facility in Calico Rock in the north central part of the state. He made his court appearance via Zoom, and authorities say Harden escaped by dressing up as a law enforcement officer last month. He was recaptured 12 days after he broke free. Harden was recently transferred to a Supermax prison in Gold, Arkansas. He is expected to go on trial on the escape charge in November. Repairs to a hangar damaged by a plane crash in Gardner, Kansas continue. At least 2 people were hurt after a plane crashed through the roof of an airport hangar near Kansas City, Missouri. This happened earlier this week at the New Century Airport in Gardner, Kansas. Photos from this scene show the plane partially through the roof. Investigators say a left engine malfunction led to the crash. Authorities said the 2 people on board, the pilot and 1 passenger, were taken to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No one inside the hangar at the time of the crash was injured. Here's Chris now with a quick look at your forecast.
We've had some dense fog out there for some of us. Conditions slowly improving, which we'll take a look at in a moment. But first, this live look from downtown Pittsburgh. Skies are clear, plentiful sunshine, mild start to the day ahead of what's going to be a pretty toasty day and get even hotter as we roll into the first day and first weekend of summer. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline looking good as well. So here's what I'm talking about. We had this dense fog stretching all the way up into parts of southeast Kansas, and we still have reduced visibilities, but big improvements there. Unfortunately, around the Grand Lake area, points southeast, so Benton County, Delaware, and McDonald County still significantly reduced visibilities. So do be careful. Watch out. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. And of course, if you're traveling, the fog tracker shows where it kind of stops close to I-44 or it improves. You still want to watch out for potentially rapidly changing visibilities as well. Future track is clear other than maybe a passing cloud or two as we head through the afternoon. And we'll have a light and variable breeze. That's why the wind arrows are kind of just dancing around out there. But it will start to get a little windier tomorrow, which will also help bring in the heat. We're sitting at 67 in Joplin right now, 68 in Pittsburgh, and across the area, temperatures again mild. We've got upper 60s now for just about all of us. And we got a warm spot now, Cassville, sitting at 70. We're going to be into the mid 70s by 9, low 80s by noon, upper 80s where our highs are headed today. Out in our western counties, a couple of 90-degree readings not out of the question. Otherwise, a pretty fantastic but very warm day. As I mentioned, though, the heat really cranks up into the weekend. Details in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get those severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The KOAM Skywatch weather app. The home where a Minnesota lawmaker and her husband were gunned down Saturday was broken into overnight Wednesday. Brooklyn Park police say the home was boarded up early Sunday after investigators processed evidence at the scene, but that didn't stop someone from breaking in. Esme Murphy spoke to neighbors about the incident.
The crime scene tape is still up from Saturday morning's murders. Now police are investigating another crime here, a break-in through a back window. The window broken, the police plywood pulled off.
Whoever it was that broke in has no respect for the deceased couple that lived here.
Longtime neighbor Jeff Olenek is beside himself.
It's a horrible deal that people would come now and desecrate their memory by breaking into the house.
Other neighbors just can't believe it.
It's horrible. I think it's really horrible. It's hard to put words to it.
Christine Cole Finch says she and her dog Libby would join Hortman and her dog Gilbert on neighborhood walks. Gilbert was also shot in the attack and had to be put down by the Hortman's children.
Even days later, we're still struggling with it.
Some say the break-in feels as if the Hortmans are being attacked again.
Very disturbing to know that someone would want to break into a house after a tragedy like this.
Brooklyn Park Police released a statement saying after the break-in, they brought the Hortman family into this home to see if they could recognize if anything had been taken. The Hortmans reported to police that they didn't see that anything had been removed.
As the investigation continues, neighbors have already started taking care of the Hortmans' yard and gardens.
Melissa was really taking care of her gardens whenever she wasn't doing her legislative work.
And they are also tending the growing memorial in the Hortmans' front yard.
Police are still searching for the suspect in the break-in. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Gas prices are expected to surge due to the conflict in the Middle East. We'll have the latest. In Consumer Watch, it's going to cost you more to fill up your tank as gas prices are going up because of conflict in the Middle East. But it's not just regular gas prices that are rising. The price of diesel is expected to soar. Now that means it will cost companies more to fill up trucks that are transporting goods like groceries. Jen Sullivan explains why Americans' wallets could be hit hard this summer.
As the conflict between Israel and Iran escalates, the price of oil is rising, and it means Americans are paying more for gas.
Oil prices last Friday jumped 8%.
Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy says anytime there's a conflict in the Middle East, it creates uncertainty and disrupts global energy markets.
The knee-jerk reaction for the market is oil prices jump.
DeHaan says the national average for a gallon of regular gas could go up between 10 to 25 cents over the next few weeks. As of Wednesday, the national average for a regular gallon of gas was $3.19. That's up 7 cents from last week, according to AAA. Prices could go up even more if Iran retaliates by targeting the Strait of Hormuz. It's a critical waterway separating the Persian Gulf from global oceans. Roughly 21 million barrels of oil are transported through the Strait of Hormuz every day.
That is about 20% of what's consumed globally. So a blockade or military activity in the Strait of Hormuz could be extremely problematic for the price of oil.
Here's another concern. DeHaan says the price of diesel could increase as much as 40 cents over the next 2 weeks. And when diesel prices rise, experts say consumers could see prices across the board go up because it costs companies more to transport goods.
If this situation continues to spiral out of control, you could see businesses that rely on things like crude oil, diesel, jet fuel, and gasoline start to incur a much more increased cost, and that could eventually filter down to motorists.
The good news is DeHaan does not think gas prices will rise as much as they did last summer. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
And those are our top consumer stories. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:43 now. On this Thursday morning, fog tracker conditions are continuing to improve, which is good, but we still have significantly reduced visibilities. Southern McDonald, Berry County, stretching into Benton County and parts of Delaware County. Now, we do have reduced visibilities outside that, but the biggest concern is going to be I-49, Old 71 heading south into Arkansas this morning. So if you are commuting that way, just make sure you're prepared to slow down. And, of course, use your low beams, not your high beams, and fog lights if you've got them. The main thing we're going to be talking about, at least over the next few days, is just going to be the temperatures. Could have a few clouds today. Otherwise, we're going to start heating up. And thankfully, humidity levels won't be that bad today, but it will still be a bit muggy, a little unpleasant. It will be more so, though, as we head into Friday. And Friday kicks off a stretch of where we could have heat index values 100 degrees or higher. By noon on Friday, already into the upper 80s, we push it in the low 90s, maybe even getting close to some mid-90s further west, and that's going to put our heat index values into that 100 to 105 degree range. As we head into Saturday, similar situation. We start off, we're going to be pretty toasty, low 80s by noon, back into the low 90s. However, Friday, tomorrow, winds increase. They start bringing in more moisture, and so for Saturday, we're looking at a slightly higher heat concern because heat index values will be more close to 105, maybe even a little above 105 on Saturday. So again, if you've got plans this weekend, if you're doing anything outdoors, you've got to stay hydrated. You got to take precautions because we're getting to that point. It's that time of the year. It's going to be summertime tomorrow that we're going to start dealing with some of that more extreme heat. Back to upper 80s, low 90s Sunday, heat index values again about 100. So our heat risk today is minor. It's going to be a little uncomfortable, but not awful. By Friday, we start going into that moderate range for the entire region, so that's that 100, 105 zone. Saturday's the worst, as we have a major heat risk for just about the entire region. That's when those heat index values, 105, maybe a little higher, and those 100 to 105 heat index values will continue with us into Sunday and even into Monday as well, heading into next week. So we're at that point, heat-related illness is possible. So we head into Saturday, heat exhaustion becomes a greater concern out there, but of course those more susceptible to the heat stroke certainly a possibility as well. So we've just got to make sure we're taking appropriate precautions and that we are prepared for some of this heat out there. All right, live look, 7th and range line looks fantastic out there. Again, a passing cloud or two through the day. Otherwise, sunny, warm, 70 to start, and 81 by 11 o'clock this morning. Our highs today, again, upper 80s, couple low 90s out west, not out of the question. Got a light and variable wind. Any clouds that we do have, which are going to be few again, we will have no clouds late this evening and overnight, mild, back in the low 70s. South winds, though, start increasing a bit, 5 to 10. South winds tomorrow, gusting upwards of 25. We go into Saturday, Sunday, still in the low 90s, upper 80s, low 90s next week. We're also in that time of year, though, humidity start to rise, and we get to that point where we get those pop-up storms, especially late afternoon, early evening, peak heating of the day, and occasionally some of those storms can get a little strong. So just make sure you're paying attention to the sky, and remember, when thunder roars, head indoors. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Well, every time you take a commercial flight, there is an environmental cost. Now, scientists are trying to grow a solution that could also be big business for Minnesota farmers.
Aaron Hassan-Zeta explains how a tiny seed could solve a big problem.
And this one's still kind of in the middle of flowering.
Here at the U of M research fields, the sun shines on a solution in bloom.
Yeah, this is an ancient crop.
It's called camelina.
It's similar to canola, so it produces oil, but unlike canola, it survives a Minnesota winter.
The seeds can be refined into cooking oil and further refined into sustainable aviation fuel.
There have been flights using camelina fuel. Sole camelina fuel.
Researcher Matthew Ott is part of the team perfecting the crop for prime time. Something to stand up to Minnesota winters that farmers will flock to.
Powerful little plant.
Yeah, and economic too.
They're tiny seeds, but they could have a huge impact. The U.S. Department of Energy says sustainable aviation fuel could cut emissions by up to 94%.
And airlines want to cut emissions. Globally, flying accounts for nearly 3% of our air emissions, but the industry wants to get to net zero carbon emissions by 2050, with airlines like Delta aiming to use 10% sustainable fuel by 2030.
This could be a major industry for Minnesota.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We're kind of the leader on developing it as a winter crop.
Farmers across the state are piloting the product right now. Some tell us they use it as a cover crop and love that they can grow a second crop on the same land during the same season.
The camelina pods can be harvested over the top of the soybean seedlings.
Ott says it also helps prevent runoff of farming fertilizers, improving our water quality.
Yeah, there's a bee right there.
And the early bloomers provide nourishment for critical pollinators.
Yeah, it grows fast.
And many are hoping the industry will too.
We're early in the process, but we're scaling up.
Very interesting.
Indeed. I mean, they're literally growing fuel. Now, I mean, I know ethanol comes from corn, but, you know, it's not, I don't think we have 100% ethanol fuel anywhere for vehicles or anything like that, but that's just interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting indeed. What's also interesting, especially if you're commuting down south, the fog tracker. We still have that dense fog, Benton County. Visibility is only 0.2 of a mile in Bentonville itself, so remember to slow down and watch out. We do have some patchy light fog outside of that, but that is now where our densest fog is confined this morning. Nothing really showing the future track. Couple of clouds today. Temperatures are heating up, and the thing that we really want to watch is the temperatures as we head into tomorrow. Tomorrow, by the way, the first day of summer, and we are going to definitely feel like it. Upper 80s, low 90s out there, and heat index values for our Friday could easily reach 100 to 105. We have a minor heat risk today. It goes to a moderate level for our Friday, and Saturday it goes to major. Temperatures still low 90s Saturday, but heat index values could be 105 or even slightly greater. So again, make sure you're taking appropriate precautions if you've got outdoor plans this weekend. Got another look at your forecast. News you need to know right after this.
And here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. One juvenile is dead and authorities are still searching for another after a train pedestrian accident yesterday afternoon in Neosho County, Kansas. It happened at the Trestle Railroad Bridge over the Neosho River south of Erie, Kansas. Sheriff Greg Taylor says 2 juveniles were walking along the bridge when they were hit by a train. The sheriff says the Neosho River is high, making conditions harder to deal with. He asked the public to steer clear of the area. Carl Junction Mayor Mike Moss was back in the chair at Tuesday night's City Council meeting just days after the council voted to suspend him. City Administrator Steve Laver confirmed the motion to suspend Moss was unlawful under city code. Both the city attorney and outside legal counsel supported Laver's decision. And the McDonald County Sheriff's Office will appear on the series On Patrol Live on the Reels channel. The department will make its first appearance on the show tomorrow night live from 9 p.m. to midnight, then again on Saturday night at the same time. The show provides live analysis of the everyday work of law enforcement officers across America. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as you head out the door, be ready for the heat. Back into the upper 80s today, a few passing clouds and a light and variable breeze. Clouds will clear out, which we won't have that many as it is, through the evening. Clear skies overnight, mild, back into the low 70s. Have south winds gusting up to 25 tomorrow. It'll also be hot, low 90s, sunny, and heat index values 100 to 105. Heat index values could be 105 or a little above on Saturday, continuing into Sunday. Next week, upper 80s, low 90s, still muggy. That's why we have those pop-up storm chances as those kind of come along with the heat and humidity and the heating of the day. So do keep an eye on the sky if you do see a couple of thunderstorms out there.
Right. Well, Wacky Wednesdays are back. Yesterday, the Crawford County Historical Museum brought back its popular summer tradition where kids can enjoy 4 Wednesdays of hands-on fun, laughter, and learning with a brand new theme every week.
Now, yesterday, kids could interact with a camel, baby goats, and more, all thanks to Kramer's Petting Zoo from Arcadia. Yesterday's theme, by the way, Barnyard Bonanza. Next Wednesday, the theme is Life on the Trail. So just a lot of fun. There's always, we said before, there's always so many great things for kids to do, for families to do here in the 4 states during the summer. And you just also want to make sure, keep a water bottle or something. I like chickens. I told our producer, we need chickens on the morning show. we need live chickens in here. So
have our own barnyard bonanza.
We should.
In the
we
studio.
absolutely should have a barnyard bonanza in here. And I'm sure you guys at home would probably enjoy it as well. I mean, who wouldn't want to see us getting chased by goats or something?
Me. Myself. I wouldn't want to see that for me, but you know.
Well, all right. Well, we'll see what we can do for barnyard animals. Until then, thanks for being with us this morning. We're back with more news and weather at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.